Today, I'm going to talk about a protein that you need to know about, and that is collagen. If you are somebody who's always wanted to have strong, youthful, radiant skin, and you also care about your joints and you want them to be flexible and pain-free, you want to have a resilient body that ages well, then what you need to know is that boosting your collagen is actually very, very important. And today I'm going to show you the best foods and the best lifestyle habits that's going to help you repair and fortify your body's collagen. And that's really from the inside out so that you can actually thrive, all right? Because that's what we always want to do in our lives, is to actually thrive. Collagen is a natural protein that plays an absolutely fundamental and key role in keeping your body strong and resilient, all right? It is also important if you want your body to heal naturally. Now, if you don't have enough collagen, why is that a problem? Well, based on what I just told you, your body is going to become weakened and our structures actually start to fall apart, right? And in fact, as we age, that's actually what happens. If our collagen starts to actually decline. Sagging skin needs more collagen. Joints that aren't working so well, in fact, they may be painful, not enough collagen. Collagen is wearing down. Collagen is a protein, and proteins are made out of what? Do you know? Amino acids, right? So collagen is a protein. Proteins are made out of amino acids, and amino acids are basically the building blocks of our body, right? For life to have formed on Earth, basically amino acids were created out of raw chemicals, and then the amino acids came together. We started to form proteins, and that's basically how we crawled out of the swamp, out of the soup, all right? Now, if you are a science geek and you really, really want to know what are the proteins in collagen, well, the main ones in collagen are glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline, right? Those are the three: glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline. But most of you guys are not going to be science geeks, right? And if you want to actually look youthful, you're going to need to maintain your collagen as you age. And there are different foods and lifestyle things you can do to help you maintain that collagen. That's what's important, all right? That's what this video is going to be about. Now, before we dive into the foods and habits that can help boost collagen, all right, I'm going to actually tell you that eating collagen helps your body make more collagen. So in other words, eating the collagen doesn't put the collagen that you ate into your joints or into your skin. And that's how it's sometimes discussed. That's not how it works. All right. And I used to be very skeptical when people would tell me, oh, I eat collagen because collagen is actually good for my joints. And I used to say, that's BS. There's no way that what you're eating will actually survive stomach acids. All right. But here, let me tell you exactly what actually happens. When you eat collagen, which is a protein made out of amino acids, when you swallow it into your stomach, all right, what winds up happening is that the stomach acid will digest the collagen that you've eaten. We're going to talk about what foods that's in. And then chop it up into a lot of pieces. Now you got to have a soup of different collagen fragments. And those collagen fragments get absorbed into our bloodstream, right? So it does break it down into component parts like amino acids, but not everything is broken down. So you've got all these collagen fragments. And it turns out that the collagen fragments can activate the cells in our joints, in our skin, in our heart, in other parts of our body. Those collagen fragments are biologically active, and they can actually stimulate our cells that produce collagen, called fibroblasts, to make more collagen. So when you eat collagen, it gets in your stomach acid chops up into pieces, and parts of these collagen fragments float around your body, and they activate cells that naturally make more collagen. Now, the other thing that happens when you actually eat collagen is that chopping process of digestion, the stomach acid chopping up that collagen, a lot of it actually does become just free-floating amino acids. And you know what happens? Your body needs amino acids to develop more protein, all right? So you've heard, people talk about, as you get older, you actually need to maintain your protein. You want to have enough protein in your diet. Absolutely true, all right? Because partly that amino acids that come from protein that your stomach chops up, they're used to build more protein in your body. But the key, it's not like, if you eat muscle, animal muscle, like a steak, that is actually going to go straight to your muscle to build your muscle. Nope. Actually, protein that you eat, wherever that protein comes from, and there's plenty of plant-based proteins, but wherever that protein comes from, The stomach acid chops it up during digestion, and it creates amino acids. And those amino acids are what your body actually uses in order to build more protein. The fragments from collagen that you eat, chop into fragments, circulate in your body. They can actually activate your cells called fibroblasts to actually create more natural collagen. So what is the evidence? All right, because I'm all about evidence. What is the evidence, clinical evidence in people that collagen works to benefit your bones and joints? So a clinical study from Penn State University looked at 97 athletes. Okay, these are athletes who had a lot of wear and tear and pain in their joints and their muscles from their sport, right? Whatever they were doing actually like really gave them a serious workout. They were sore afterwards. And half the subjects were actually given gelatin. Now, gelatin, like Jell-O, is actually made of collagen. That's like all collagen, right? They were given it for 24 weeks. That's 6 months. And another group, okay, a part of the group was given a placebo, right? That's how you do a clinical study. Your test substance, which is a collagen, which is Jell-O, gelatin, and the other one, just a placebo for 24 weeks or 6 months. And the group that actually received the gelatin, the collagen, had a 37% decrease in their joint pain. 37% decrease in their joint pain. All right. Another study from Washington State University looked at 80 elderly people. Now, that study from Penn State looked at young people, young athletes. This one looked at 80 elderly people with osteoarthritis. Now, osteoarthritis is wear and tear pain in your joints because you've actually worn down a lot of the joints that's made out of collagen, right? And now you've got bone on bone, okay? And these people all had joint pain, bone on bone pain, osteoarthritis for at least 3 months, all right? If you're an older person, like 60 and above, you probably have osteoarthritis somewhere in your body, all right? And if you know people who are elderly, I guarantee you they're going to have osteoarthritis. That's actually just a normal part of aging because the collagen wears down, which is why we're talking about collagen in this video. Now, in this group of 80 elderly people, some of the subjects were given collagen made from chicken bones. Now, we're going to talk about this later, but if you boil down chicken bones, you know, basically like a carcass, you're going to wind up getting this like very, very nutrient-rich broth. All the collagen in the chicken bones are going to actually kind of dissolve into the soup, right? So this is basically why probably your grandmother told you, have some chicken soup. It's really, really nutritious. Well, it's a nutritious broth. Chicken broth is very, very nutritious, and part of the nutrients in it are actually collagen from the chicken, right? Okay, this protein, all right? And what they found is that those elderly adults who were given the chicken broth actually had their joint pain significantly decreased, okay? Now, let's now talk about foods that help your body produce collagen, because chicken soup is actually one of them. I'm going to come back to that. But the first food I want to talk about, are you ready? Let's talk about food number 1. So if you're taking notes, now's the time to actually pull out your paper and pad or pull it up on your mobile phone, all right? Food number 1 that helps your body build collagen is foods that contain high amounts of vitamin C. C is in Charlie, all right? And the reason is vitamin C is necessary to help your body make collagen naturally, right? Remember, production slows, so you want to actually make sure it's got the fuel it needs to actually make more collagen. It's a cofactor. Vitamin C is a cofactor for the enzymes, for the machinery in your body, the factory, your body's collagen factory. You need vitamin C to actually, grease the joints so that so to speak, so that your body can actually work more collagen. And people who can regularly consume high amounts of foods that contain vitamin C, guess what? Studies have shown that they've got better skin elasticity, all right? Bounce back faster, and they also heal their wounds faster, however they get their wounds, all right? Now, the other benefit of eating foods with high amounts of vitamin C, guess what? Vitamin C is an anti-inflammatory bioactive. So not only do you get to build your joints and get better skin, but you also actually are going to lower inflammation in your body as well. In fact, some clinical studies that I wrote about in Eat to Beat Disease actually show that people with an autoimmune disease called lupus, if they're eating foods with high amounts of vitamin C, that their lupus flares are much less frequent and much less severe, and their inflammatory blood markers, C-reactive protein, which is what your doctor might measure, the biomarkers are down if you eat foods that are high in vitamin C. All right. More collagen, better collagen, building collagen, less inflammation. That's all great, right? Like that all decreases the risk of actually developing chronic diseases when you actually lower nutrition. Now, there was a study that was published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition that found that women who have a higher intake of vitamin C from fruits and vegetables, all right, are 17% less likely to experience dryness and 11% less likely to have wrinkles, a wrinkly appearance on their skin, right? This is just from eating foods containing fruits and vegetables containing vitamin C. So less dryness, dry skin, and less wrinkling. So when do we actually think about dryness and wrinkling the skin? Well, as we age, right? People who are aging, no, we're all aging, all right? So I'm talking about sort of in the second half of your life. If you're in the second half of your life and you start noticing your skin is getting drier, more parched looking and wrinkly, okay, that's what we classically call aging skin. It's because you're having less collagen in your skin. And if you have more foods containing vitamin C, your symptoms are actually going to be, the signs are going to be not as bad. All right. So my pro tip is to load up your plate when you're eating with colorful foods, fruits and vegetables. This is like eating the rainbow, because there are a lot of those colorful foods actually have vitamin C. So what are the foods that you might want to eat that have high vitamin C to help your body make more collagen, which is better for your hair, your skin, your joints, etc.? Okay, here's my list. Strawberries. I love strawberries. All right, high in vitamin C. Tomatoes, really high in vitamin C. All right, bell peppers, like could be red ones, it could be green ones, it can be yellow ones, all contain a lot of vitamin C. Broccoli contains a lot of vitamin C. All right. Kale as well. That's a brassica family. Guava, it's a fruit, contains vitamin C. Kiwi, the little green emerald-like fruits. I strongly advise you to try it if you haven't, but they're really delicious, super easy to eat for breakfast. Great vitamin C properties, also good for dietary fiber, good for gut health. All right, it's a super simple little thing to eat that's good for your body. Cantaloupe, right? Nice ripe cantaloupe, which I love to eat. And pineapple, all right? So I like to buy, when I see a pineapple, I don't get it pre-cut. I like to have it on my counter. Actually, it looks pretty nice. And it'll ripen over time. You can smell it. If you smell the base of it, you can smell that nice ripe pineapple flavor. So that's what I do when I'm buying it. You want it to feel that when you go to a grocery store and you buy pineapple, see if it kind of is not very soft, but when it's actually kind of the flesh itself, you can feel from the outside the skin. You can compress it a little bit. Look at the bottom, smell the base. All right, that's what I always do. It should smell like a pineapple that's going to get ripe, and you're going to bring it home. It's going to get even riper and smell even better. And another little tip that I use for buying pineapples. All right, wiggle the top leafy, those little cactusy leaves. Wiggle it. When it's wiggly, it means that actually it's on its way to being ripened. So you want to buy a pineapple that's on its way to being ripened, all right, not too raw, all right, like a super hard pineapple, no scent at all at the base, and like the top doesn't wiggle. Look for another one that actually has that property, because when you bring it home, you stick it on your counter for a couple of days. Guarantee you it's actually going to start to ripen more. Don't put it in the fridge. Just have it on your counter, and you'll start to actually get that higher, stronger aroma. It'll get a little more wiggly and the flesh will be soft. A couple of days, slice it open. How do I do it with pineapple? I know we're going to get back to the whole vitamin C and collagen story, but I just want to tell you because I love pineapples. You cut the top off, all right? And then what I like to do is just take that football-like pineapple, cut it straight down on a wooden cutting board. All right, now you got two halves. It's got the skin on it. Skin, not edible. I don't recommend it. All right. It's got a lot of dietary fiber, but don't eat it. It doesn't taste good. All right. And what you do is you just with two halves of the pineapple on your cutting board, all you got to do is slice vertically down to remove the skin. Don't take away too much of that delicious flesh. Scrape off all the skin. I like to kind of wash it off. And oh, by the way, make sure you wash your pineapple. Here's a little pro tip. That pineapple used to be in a tree, fell on the ground almost certainly. All right, or was sitting in the bottom of a box someplace, probably sat in an airplane, maybe a truck for a long time and sat in the back of the grocery store, wherever it is, it might have even been transported by horseback or donkey back, whatever, wash it. Rinse it under the sink before you cut into it. All right, for 60 seconds in cold water. Sing happy birthday twice to your pineapple. All right, and then cut it in half, like I said, on the cutting board, and then just literally vertical slices to get off all the skin, throw the skin away. All right, now you get this beautiful 2 halves of pineapple, and they're just in the right size, and because you've cut the base, like cut the base and cut the leaves off, top off, you've got flat surfaces. Now you can actually cut it very safely. I always get worried because if you peel it off, the pineapple's kind of slippery. You could cut yourself. Going to need collagen to heal it, but actually better to be safe with the pineapple. So that's my little tip on pineapple because I like pineapple. One last thing for you to know about pineapple: helps digestion, and it's got a bioactive called bromelain, okay, that you eat, and that's also a bioactive that's good for your body as well. All right, okay. So enough about pineapple. Now you know foods that contain vitamin C's: strawberry, tomatoes, green bell peppers, broccoli, kale, guava, kiwi, cantaloupe, and pineapple are some of my favorites. All right. Try to incorporate one or more of these into your diet every single day. You don't need to do the same thing every day. Switch them out. Make it like something that you enjoy doing. All right. And if there's one you don't really like, oh man, I don't really like kale. I don't like cantaloupe. Don't worry about it. Switch to something else. That's the best way to use food as medicine, actually, to make it work for you. All right. And you should be including the foods that are part of your preferences. All right. But try to eat some foods with vitamin C every single day. And the key to using food for health is consistency. Do something consistently all the time. All right. So collagen health, vitamin C foods, regular part of your diet. All right. Now, there's another hidden benefit to vitamin C foods. All right. Not only does it help your body produce collagen, not only is it anti-inflammatory, but vitamin C also is an antioxidant. So it protects your DNA as well. Again, in my book, Eat to Beat Disease, I write about how your DNA is hardwired to protect itself, but vitamin C can help to put a shield over your DNA to prevent it from getting damaged. All right. And by the way, also protects these antioxidant properties, also protects your collagen from being damaged by free radicals. Now, these are free radicals that, might be from pollution in the air, from ultraviolet radiation, from off-gassing, from artificial preservatives or flavorings or additives in your food. Protect your DNA, protect your collagen. Vitamin C will actually do that. All right. So not only does it actually help your body make new collagen, it also helps to protect the collagen that you have as well as your DNA. All right. Ready for food number 2? Food number 2 that's good for collagen that anybody can actually make at home or have at home is bone broth. All right. And you've probably heard about bone broth. It's all over the internet. People talk about bone broth all the time. But I like to have a different perspective because I'm not somebody that automatically jumps on a trend because everybody's talking about it. In fact, I like to go back to tradition and ask, okay, what are the things that are important that everybody sticks to over generations? Well, in almost every culture, the food tradition is that bone broth is really, really healthy. And that's why it should be on your radar. Every culture has some kind of version of bone broth. And how do you make bone broth, or how do different cultures make bone broth? I mean, just ask your grandmother how she makes it. Usually from the leftover bones, and maybe with a little bit of flesh hanging onto it, the carcasses, the joints, the wings, the rib cage, chickens, turkey, duck, beef, pork, you name it. You can use any kind of leftover carcass from cooking. And I know I'm talking to people who are omnivores and not vegetarians and not vegans, but I'm sorry, you're gonna have to bear with me. It's really the meat protein that actually contains the collagen, right? So what do? You take these bones and carcasses, put them into a big, heavy pot. This is what I do. Fill it up with water just to the tip of wherever the bones are. You don't need to completely flood the compartment. However many you have, all right, bones. Put them into the pot, all right? Fill it up right to the top so the water just covers the top of the bones, all right? Turn it on high to boil it, get it to a boil, like a real vigorous boil. Then turn it way down to the lowest possible simmer. And in the meantime, chop up some vegetables, right? So I like to add carrots and onions. You're gonna put a bay leaf in if you want. I mean, there's all kinds of things you can actually put in there, scallions. Or if you want to do it Asian style, add some ginger. You want to have a gingery bone broth. Absolutely delicious. You can make ramen out of it. I mean, ramen bowl. You can steam rice with it. There's all kinds of things you can actually do with this lovely ginger flavor. But if you do it sort of like Western style, Mediterranean style, take an onion, take some garlic, take some carrots, stick them in there. All right. And you're going to wind up getting like the veggie flavors. You're going to get some of the bioactives in there as well, along with the collagen. Now, you simmer low, 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 low. You can simmer it overnight. If you don't feel comfortable keeping the heat on, just keep it out though. All right. Put a lid on it while it's really hot. All right. And then if you're going to turn it off, don't worry. The temperature differential will suction the lid down. So it'll be safe. All right. The next morning though, turn it back up to do a boil. That way it'll kill off any bacteria, if any bacteria grew. And then you'll be back in business. All right. The longer you actually simmer your bone broth, and you've probably heard about this at a Japanese restaurant. They're like 36-hour bone broth or broth for the ramen broth. That's what it means. Like you're boiling, boiling, boiling. More and more collagen is going to come out. All the collagen from the joints of the carcass and the bones are going to dissolve right out into the broth. Very, very rich in amino acids, especially glycine and protein, right? That's why, again, your grandmother actually said, have some chicken broth or have some pork broth or beef broth. This actually is very rich in these micronutrients, amino acids, as well as collagen. And when you actually simmer for hours and hours and hours, you're going to extract all these amino acids into the broth as well, along with some of the minerals from the bone. All of this bone broth supports collagen production. So if you care about, your skin and your joints and how much protein you're getting in, bone broth is a really great way of doing it. Now, you should also know that traditional healing, traditional medicine often use bone broth as part of their toolbox, all right? So they would find a way to actually serve up bone broth for joints, joint repair, and pain. And by the way, there's even some new evidence, fast forward to present day, looking at the future, that collagen can even help with gut health as well. All right. Specifically, leaky gut syndrome. Looks like collagen can help build the lining of the gut and maybe strengthen the gut to prevent the leak. Very important. All right. Because when you've got leaky gut, it's sort of like the lining of the inner lining of the gut kind of starts to create holes. It's like a diver with holes in the wetsuit. Now, seawater is going to come in. All right. Or in the case of the gut, like it's stuff from the gut that will actually get into the lining of the gut. Now that's very, very irritating. All right. So bone broth, the collagen seems actually to be healing for that. Makes a lot of sense. Right. Now, the bone broth is also hydrating. So think about that. So if you're looking about dry skin, for example, just having bone broth not only builds a collagen, but it also hydrates your body. That's one thing that happens also when people tend to get older. They don't stay properly hydrated. So bone broth is a way of sort of knocking out both of those things all at the same time. Good for skin, good for joint health, good for bone health, good for hydration. That is bone broth. Okay, ready for food number 3? Food number 3, leafy greens, sulfur-rich vegetables. I'm talking about brassica vegetables, so broccoli, kale, all right, the brassica. Spinach is another one, all right? These are leafy greens. Now, I don't need to tell you that leafy greens are beneficial for your health because you already know that, all right? But what I do need to tell you is that when you actually have leafy greens, the brassica family, they can actually have isothiocyanates or ITCs and sulforaphanes, all right? And they also have a lot of dietary fiber, which is good for gut health. And when you have a well-fed gut because of dietary fiber, your gut bacteria well-fed, but gut bacteria help you lower inflammation in your body as well. So leafy greens help your body lower inflammation. And guess what? The isothiocyanates, the ITCs and sulforaphanes, they help support collagen production. All right, sulforaphanes are important for supporting your own body's production of collagen. All right, what does sulfur do? Sulforaphanes, what does the sulfur do? Well, remember I told you collagen is 3 chains of protein that are twisted together, right, into a triple helix. Sulfur actually stabilizes that triple helix, right? They actually make the helix even stronger to give it that strength, that tensile strength. And by the way, leafy greens like spinach, as I said, but also kale, a good source of vitamin A. We talked about vitamin C earlier to help your body as a cofactor, coenzyme to actually create collagen. Well, vitamin A actually has been shown to trigger new collagen production in aging skin. All right, so here's another great way to actually have your greens. Now you're actually stimulating with vitamin A, you're stimulating collagen production in your skin. So spinach, kale, great way to do that. When you've got collagen in your skin, guess what? You're going to have greater elasticity. All right, you want it to be able to stretch and spring back. All right, smoother appearance. All right, that's also what we actually want. It's supposed to wrinkly, lots of lines. Sulfur-rich vegetables are something you can easily add to your diet. Some of them that I love, I like broccoli. I like broccoli rub. I like regular broccoli. By the way, here's a little pro tip when you buy broccoli. Don't just get the florets, all right? Unless you're going to buy frozen, and they usually just sell you the florets. Florets are good. They actually have those sulforaphanes. But what you need to know is that a broccoli plant is a really it's got a long trunk, like a stem, and then it's got the florets at the very end. Mostly the stem. The plant is mostly stem, all right? And we tend to eat only the florets. But if you go to the farmer's market, buy the whole broccoli. Don't throw the stem away, all right? A lot of people used to trim the stem and throw it away. I used to do it too years ago. But keep the stem because the sulforaphanes and a lot of the good beneficial dietary fiber in the stem. And if you go, wait a minute, I have no idea what I'm going to do with the stem. Here's what I tell you I do. All right. Sometimes you want to skin the stems because the outside skin of the stem can be a little tough. Dietary fiber. All right. But sometimes you want to basically skin it and slice it in like diagonally into kind of medallions. Now you can actually saute that in it. Absolutely delicious. Whatever you're cooking the tops on, you can saute the broccoli stems separately. Or guess what? You don't want to deal with the broccoli stems that way. Put them in a blender and make a broccoli soup. You know, one of the favorite broccoli soups that I have, I included the recipe in here. It's broccoli oregano soup. Try it. It is so good. All right. And you get all the goodness of the broccoli. You can make it with broccoli florets, of course, which I like to steam, but you can actually make it with the stem. All right. I'm just telling you a little tip. All right. So another source of sulfur in your diet, onions and garlic. These are allium. They're not brassica. Onions have sulfur. Garlic has sulfur. That's why it partly is responsible for that really pungent, potent smell that you get. Wonderful smell for cooking, by the way. All right. Those are also sulfur. Sulfur actually makes your collagen stronger. All right. And the vitamin A from spinach and kale makes your body make more collagen as well. So, you know, a study actually been looking at women who ate leafy greens. They actually have fewer wrinkles than women who did not eat leafy greens as well.